I'm Matt Wolf.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy, so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
When severe weather strikes, we break in.
A tornado watch is in effect for Rutherford County.
The most up-to-date weather information.
We'll be here with you on radio and with Rutherford Weather video channels as we continue to track this storm as it
Get pinpoint details on severe and impactful weather in Rutherford County with Rutherford Weather.
A severe thunderstorm watch is in effect for Rutherford County.
Listen for Rutherford weather updates on WGNS and watch on YouTube and Facebook by following at RUCO Weather. That's RUCO Weather.
Whether it's a cough, a fever, or something you can't quite name, MMC Now makes care easy. Walk right in, get seen quickly, and your visit connects directly to your MMC doctor. Care you trust, with providers you know, with digital check-in and multiple locations around town. MMC Now is here when you need us.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic.
The Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Welcome into WGNS in the Roundtable. I'm Andy Herzer, founder and president of First Shot on this kind of rainy, misty Monday morning. This show's been so good, I've got to reconnect to so many people, and I'm going to get to today. Jamie Steelman's here. We're going to tell a story, and it's one that really kind of tugged at my heart when I heard what you were doing through a mutual friend of ours, Candy Henniker.
Yeah.
Jamie, how many years has it been since the passing of your son?
So it
Ryan?
was May 31st, 2016. So we're coming up on 9 years here pretty soon.
Yep. So when we were talking a little bit off air, you were talking about Ryan as a child. He had to have some blood given so that he could survive. Tell that story a little bit, going through his birth.
So when he was born, mother's placenta separated, lost a lot of blood, had to do an emergency C-section. So emergency room, the whole thing, had to take her down to surgery, and he needed 2 blood transfusions just to survive. And we happened to be at Vanderbilt Hospital. It wasn't planned. But the doctors, because this is 1994, and he had AB negative blood, which is the rarest of the blood types. And they were like, "Man, y'all are really lucky that you're even at Vanderbilt, because some of the rural hospitals and that lay in the outer parts of the county might not have even had that on hand. Would have had to rush it somewhere. So just so many blessings over and over that we got the time that we had with him because of people donating blood."
So, going forward, how we've gotten really to know each other wasn't through First Shot. It was through me being in the mortgage industry along with you. When you look back in it all, how many years now have you been in the mortgage business?
Man, it's coming up on 30. It sounds like a really big number, but it's coming up on that number.
And you're one of those that have survived. You've been a survivor in this.
Yeah.
So, growing up, Ryan has a normal childhood through high school.
Oh yeah.
Talk about it a little bit. What was he into? What made him tick?
He was a fun kid, just a really bright kid, and I kind of joke, we've got a lady that comes to the blood drive every year that was his 2nd grade teacher that always just shares a ton of stories. But when he was little, I kind of remember going to school open houses and things like that, and it kind of drive me crazy as a parent. One of the stories I always tell people is he was, I went in, clean out his desk, or, they show you everything they've been working on, and so this desk has just got a mess of stuff all through it. And I'm just like, man, how does he find anything in this mess? And how do they let him keep this desk like this? So anyways, I'm talking to the teacher, and I look at a paper, and he's got 100 on it. And I'm like, that's incredible. I'm looking through there, and I'm like, man, I can't read a single answer on here. How in the world has he got 100? I can't even tell what the answers are. And I sit down with the teacher, and she's like, yeah, it's a little hard to read, but I know he knows all those answers. And I kind of stopped, and I went, okay. She's like, he's a really bright kid or whatever, I'm like, well, we might want to work on penmanship and that kind of stuff. But, I mean, just charmer, charismatic, even at a really young age. Teachers loved him, all that kind of stuff. And then we get through, moving on through middle school, high school.
Where did he go?
He went to Laverne High School. Graduated from Laverne High School, and he played street hockey, which he really loved. Was a new experience for me. There's a couple of, concrete rinks around town. It's got a little bit bigger now, but so he did that for a little while for fun. Was in junior ROTC through high school and did Raiders, and so enjoyed a lot of
Look
that
at those
stuff.
glowing
He was
mushrooms.
very active.
Perfect for sneaky
but
stealth.
probably I'd say the biggest
How
thing
are you
that
planning to tackle those
I
pesky
noticed in
enemies
people
ahead?
around is he was just a great friend. He had some friend groups that were incredibly strong, very adventurous. When he got his license, when he turned 16 to drive, I got a call maybe a week later, and he's like, hey, Dad, just want to let you know I'm going to be home a little bit late tonight. And I was like, all right, what are you up to? He's like, oh, I'm in Ohio. And I was like, Ohio? He's like, yeah, man, there was just something we wanted to see, so me and my buddies just drove up here. I hope it's okay. And I mean, he was the king of asking for forgiveness instead of permission as a kid. And, looking back, I'm so thankful that he had all the adventures that he did. I mean, Ryan passed away when he was 21, and I was looking the other day, not traveling with family, but traveling with his own. I think he probably visited 7 or 8 states by himself. Just really loved to go out, meet people, go with friends. When he turned 21, actually, we got him tickets to go to New York. He just like, I just want to go out and check it out, man. Check out the city, walk around, talk to people. Like, great, you want to take, girl that you're seeing at the time. You want to go with, your best friend, Frank. Figured somebody's like, man, everybody's got stuff going on. I just want to go up there for a few days. I'm like, all right, dude. So, me and his mom got him a plane ticket. Yeah, and he went up there for 5 days to New York, man. The stories he came back with were just remarkable. I mean, just
a 21-year-old wants to go to New York.
Yeah,
that's a book in itself, I think, Jamie.
Oh, man, the adventure this kid had, and I mean, the stories that he shared, everything from just walking into a restaurant or a bar, because he had been a server through high school, a couple different restaurants and a couple of the steakhouses in downtown Nashville. Just, he loved meeting new people and finding out what made them tick and stuff. So, he said he walked into a club in New York and just sat down. There was about 4 or 5 guys in suits, and he's like, he just sat down, started talking to them. Hey, what do you guys do? And they were real open, talking to him. And he was telling me another story about sitting down with a homeless guy. And he had this picture that he had drawn, while he was sitting there just hanging out, listening to this guy's story. And it was just, it was really remarkable, just the adventure that he had. He kind of wanted to know everything about everybody, real people, deeper than the surface. And I tell people all the time, there was this thing we all talk about, myself, siblings, family. He would say things all the time when he was probably 13, 14 years old, like, hey, man, do it today. Tomorrow's not promised. And we're like, you're 14, dude. Like, I mean, I have that perspective at 50 now.
I have it at 64.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but there was something in him, something that just, he's really big on living for the moment. People talk about as a dad, with kids, talking about 5-year plans and 10-year plans. Ryan was a person that had a 5-minute plan. What are we doing next? Where are we going next? What are we going to go see? So, yeah, lots of adventure.
So when you speak of Ryan like this, obviously it's healing. Every time you tell the story, you heal a little bit more from it. Jamie, I've never met a 13 or 14-year-old. I'm in a kid's ministry that's saying, live for today. It's always, man, always looking out. What's the future? Yeah. Everybody worries about the future, but, God does teach us that he's covered our past, lived for today, and he's secured our future. So when you look at this for your son and his legacy, what's it going to be? How are you guys going to keep it going?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about, is keeping the legacy alive. I mean, he taught me a ton, because I've always been a very guarded person, and much, planning ahead, thinking about tomorrow, not thinking I'm going to live forever, but what if I do? I got to make sure I got everything in order and everything, is in line. So I think Ryan's biggest legacy is teaching myself. I get calls, and we're still in pretty good contact with a few of his friends, that lesson's pretty strong. He's got a couple of friends that'll send me pictures from, you name it, man, Italy, different places in California, of people from here, and just saying, hey man, I'm living my life, and I want you to know Ryan had a big influence in this. So that part's just always amazing. But what we decided to do with him needing the blood transfusions when he was born, to get those 21 years, is we started a blood drive in connection with Red Cross. This will be our 9th annual one when we do it this summer. So we've got it coming up on August 2nd this year. And we sat down as a family and just kind of decided, what can we do to give back? And instead of focusing, so I don't know if we talked about it a whole lot, but he passed away in a motorcycle accident. And a lot of people assume, I'm sure you're doing the blood drive. Accidents happen. People need blood to save their lives. And we actually kind of flipped it the other way, and we're doing Give Life for Ryan, which is what we call the blood drive, is to give life. He wouldn't have had the 21 years that he had. We wouldn't have got to experience the life that we enjoyed with him without people donating blood, so they had that blood on hand.
So, Jamie, kind of, it's tough to bring up. I don't want to bring up a lot of old wounds, but how did you get through it? Here you get the call, right? He's been in an accident. Walk us through it. I mean, no parent, I've always said no parent should have to bury a child. You've had to. How did you get through it?
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever gotten through it. That's a tough phrase. We definitely have moved forward. People use all kinds of terms and therapists and stuff with, a new normal and that kind of stuff. It's a part of my life every single day. I actually talked to a friend of mine on an interview I was doing the other day that had lost a daughter when she was 19, and we were just talking about that, kind of sharing thoughts of how it never goes away. It's in your mind every single day. She was 3 years in, I'm 9 years in, and it's still on my mind every single day. I don't think I've ever had to deal with anything that is as overwhelming as it is. But going back, we get a call 7:52 p.m. on May 31st. Actually, one of Frank that I was talking about earlier, his mom gave me a call, kind of doing normal stuff. It's almost 8 o'clock at night. Kids are, winding down and that kind of stuff. And at the time, Ryan was working at FedEx. Had to be at work at 8 o'clock. He's working a night shift. And she called and was, of course, just completely hysterical, but didn't know a lot. Just said, hey, Ryan's been in an accident and it sounds really bad. And I'm trying to keep my composure, and I'm saying, what do you mean? What do you mean? And she's like, I don't know. Frank just called and said, get to Vanderbilt Hospital. Something's happened. There's an accident. That's where they're taking him. So I hang up the phone immediately, tell my wife, Stacy, what the call is about. I of course had a couple moments where not a lot of clarity. I really remember several times during that night just saying the word no repeatedly over and over, and just thinking, didn't know what to expect going in. So I think at the time, most of the siblings were all at home. So we said, hey, we're going to go see what's going on. And immediately, because they're teenagers at the time, almost adults, and they all emphatically just like, no, we're going. So everybody piles down the stairs, hops into the car, and we start driving down there, not knowing what to expect. One of the hardest things, going there not knowing what we were walking into was, me and my wife are sitting there, and you don't know what to say, but the silence is too much. So, she's telling me, hey, she's trying to keep me calm, and she's like, hey, whatever's going on, we'll take care of it. However long he's got to be in the hospital, we'll make room for him at home, whatever it is, broken bones, we'll get through this. Let's just get there, see what's going on. And ironically, the whole Vanderbilt Hospital thing, we are in Laverne at the time, and they're taking him to Vanderbilt Hospital. So we get there, and some of the things, the moments that you never forget. We pulled up to the emergency room, and I was in the passenger seat because I couldn't drive. My wife drove us down there, and she said, I'll never forget, you jumped out of the car so fast, but then when you got to the hood of the car, you just slowly kind of started walking slower. And I tell her to this day, I was like, I don't know how to explain everything, but at that very moment, I knew he was gone. God laid something on my heart, and it went through my whole body, and my body just slowed down. And I don't really know how to explain it, but it just, I knew from that moment, and it was still another hour or two before we got the official word of what was going on. But I walked in and was asking, they were supposed to bring him here. Where's he at? And they were like, calm down, sit over here, wait for this, wait for that. They couldn't tell me anything. They couldn't tell me anything. And so I was like, man, we need to call the other hospitals. Maybe Linda was wrong. He's not here. They said they're not expecting anybody with that, that kind of thing here. So, so we get a lot of family comes to the hospital. Of course, we've probably got 15 or 20 people there at that moment. I mean, it was, we knew something was bad, but we didn't know what. And, I've got a couple sisters. My mom at the time was still alive and was there, and a couple of his friends that all rushed down there from different people, not knowing what was going on, just calling people. And me and most of my family were sitting in a little waiting room. They said, let us find out what's going on. And we'll let y'all sit back here till we figure what's going on. And my mind was racing, playing all kinds of, things on me. And I just thought, I kept telling them they're waiting for something. This isn't making sense. Why they've got us sitting back here. It doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right. I called a Metro police officer at the time that I knew that I'd coached his son in baseball. Sitting there, and my brain's doing a million things, and I finally thought, I was like, man, I wonder if Corey could get me some information. I hate to bug him, but I need to know what's going on. So I gave him a call, and he was like, man, I'll leave the house right now. I'll go see if I can find out what's going on. I'll check the radio, see if we can figure out what's going on. So we're sitting in the room, just kind of waiting. Everybody's silent. I mean, almost nobody could speak to each other. And kind of fast forward, I'd say probably 30 minutes or so, Corey called me and said, hey, man, I need to talk to you. So I stepped out of the room for a minute. And, he said, I hadn't seen Ryan in a little while. He used to be at the ball field all the time, but I just need to be sure. Can you tell me does this necklace sound familiar? Does he have these gauges in his ears, those little tiny gauges? And I said, yeah. And he kind of let me know. He said, yeah, it's him, and he's not going to make it to the hospital. He's already gone. And that was a moment of confirmation for me, because I feel like for about an hour I'd known. It just, I don't know if it was a parent thing or just life experience. I just knew something didn't feel right. If he had an accident and an hour had passed and they hadn't wheeled him in there to take care of him, something wasn't right. So we just, generally speaking, kind of looking back, they said when there is an accident, where that accident was, somebody had said, first responders told them they would be taking him to Vanderbilt. They didn't know that he was not going to survive at the scene. So that's where the communication came from while we were there. Which is probably good, because I probably would have jumped the interstate median and tried to figure out what was going on, and could have even caused more trouble. But I'm eternally grateful to my friend Corey that let me know what was going on. I was able to go back in, talk to the family, and even in 2016, the amount of technology that we have now, I barely got the words out, and a news notification came on one of his cousin's phone. Channel 2 that there had been a motorcyclist on 24 that did not survive, and she kind of burst out into tears, and I barely got those words out before I got to say that. So really grateful to him that he gave me that news. After that, it was just, I don't know, I feel like I kind of went numb, and I could tell you a lot, but for days I wasn't able to move. We have 5 other kids. So we had, not just the fact of losing a kid. My mom was there, grandkid, siblings, cousins, friends, trying to comfort them while I'm trying to figure out what in the world to do and going through so many emotions.
So, you talk about your other kids. How have they processed this?
Yeah.
And then probably each in a unique way, Jamie.
Very unique, very unique. How people all deal with things differently. It's kind of phenomenal to look back. And again, I say I'm grateful to people like Corey. We had some people step up, some young people, friends of theirs, some friends of ours that came in. And I think, like I said, grief never gets easier. But one of the biggest things I learned, and I don't know if it works for everybody, but sometimes just being there for somebody, not even saying a word, but just knowing the people are there for you. Man, we had some people. Gabby had a friend. So my daughter Gabby had a friend that named Emily. They were best friends, cheered together, went to Central Magnet High School together, and spent a lot of time together. And she was a good friend to our whole family. And she came and she told me and my wife, she said, "Hey, I just want to let you know, I'm going to be here this summer unless y'all tell me to go away." She went to baseball tournaments with us. She just stayed next to Gabby's side, went everywhere we went, and just, she really showed up in a way that was phenomenal. So we really learned who some people were in our lives that meant a lot.
Well, we're going to take a break and be right back with Jamie Steelman.
Sign up. Whether it's a cough, a fever, or something you can't quite name, MMC Now makes care easy. Walk right in, get seen quickly, and your visit connects directly to your MMC doctor. Care you trust, with providers you know, with digital check-in and multiple locations around town. MMC Now is here when you need us.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic.
Sign-ups are going on right now for First Shot's Winter Basketball League in Rutherford County. Coach Andy Herzer guides kids to sharpen basketball skills and build teamwork through exciting clinics and games. Since 2003, First Shot has empowered youth to grow in mind, spirit, and body. Don't miss out. Join the fun and develop lifelong skills. Visit firstshottn.org today and register for the Winter Basketball League. That's firstshottn.org.
America's Thrift Stores is now open at the corner of Middle Tennessee and MLK Jr. Boulevard. Whether you're thrifting for a one-of-a-kind statement piece, name brand jeans, or just browsing for the thrill of the find, America's Thrift offers unbeatable value with prices up to 70% off retail. Don't miss the deals. Don't miss the fun. Come celebrate the grand opening of America's Thrift Stores in Murfreesboro. Visit americasthrift.com/Murfreesboro for all the details.
Hi, my name is Diane Davenport. There are many reasons why I love Adams Place. So many people move here from out of town and they need to look for a new doctor. And it's very challenging to get a doctor because they don't always take Medicare. There's a long waiting list. So what Adams Place offers is called Blue Sky House Calls. A physician will see you. You can get health care that you need when you need it. They'll come anytime.
Come tour Adams Place and discover living a dream in your senior years.
Good Neighbor Events is brought to you by Old National Bank, the law offices of John Day, and AmeriCare Pest Control.
This is a paid legal ad.
At the law offices of John Day, we take only real cases that make a real difference.
My name is Laura Lynn, and my family needed legal help. The law offices of John Day took the burden really off of my shoulders. Never once did I feel secondary to anything else that was going on.
We want to make a difference in the community we hold so dear. And If you're ever injured, know that we are here for you too. Seriously injured? Call me, John Day.
WGNS encourages you to shop local. Let's patronize those local family businesses. Don't miss the Tennessee Philharmonic's Haunted Chamber at the Center for the Arts at 110 West College Street. That'll be Halloween Eve, Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Tickets are $30 each. Get them online at the Tennessee Philharmonic's website. The concert is at 7 o'clock this Thursday night, Halloween Eve. Now, this coming Friday is trick-or-treating around the historic Murfreesboro Square. That'll be 3 until 5 in the afternoon, as local businesses welcome you to trick-or-treat around the public square. That's this Friday, Halloween, 3 until 5, around the Murfreesboro Square. This coming Saturday from 9:30 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. That's the county's Holly Jolly Market at the Lane Agri Park, and the admission and parking are free. Remember, this is the weekend we fall back in time. Before you go to bed Saturday night, set your clock back 1 hour. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Rutherford weather.
A few spotty rain showers at times here this afternoon. Otherwise cloudy skies, a high around 60 degrees. Tonight a slight chance for rain, cloudy, a low near 53. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki from the WGNS Rutherford Weather Center. Currently, it's 55.
WGNS is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Through Sharing Change, MTE members round up their bills to support local nonprofits. Find out more how your spare change can make a difference at sharingchange.org.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Welcome back into WGNS and the Roundtable. I'm Andy Herzer, founder and executive director of First Shot. Jamie, we were talking about the healing process, and everybody has to go through it differently. But man, you kept your family together, so you must have an incredible family that stuck together, and that always doesn't happen when a child dies.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked many times. So we've got a blended family, me and my wife Stacy. So we had 3 kids each. So we've got 6 kids together, and we talk about those odds. The divorce rates go up, and then we talk about losing a sibling or losing a child, siblings losing someone. I mean, we kind of go, man, our percentage of staying together is probably down to about 5% if you look at all the statistics. So it's pretty phenomenal. We've got some pretty special kids. And they've done some great things. You know, when Ryan passed away, we had Gabby getting ready to go off to college. Baylor was getting ready to go off to college, so they were getting ready to go out of the home for the first time, live on their own, and now they've got to go through this and try to figure out how to navigate that with support when you're also, hey, first time out living on your own, nobody to take care of you, you know. And so they found some good friend groups. My son played baseball. And so he found a couple guys that were, you know, lifelong friends now, that not only were meeting a new friend, but we're meeting somebody that needed some support along the way.
So you look at it, and where did they go to school?
So my daughter got her undergraduate at Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. And then his first 2 years he played JUCO up at Ball State in Gallatin.
Those shadowy figures look relentless.
I think the baseball and
Gotta plan to
athletics
outsmart
kind
them.
of help
What's your
probably
next
a little
move
bit. You
against those
stayed
brutes?
busy,
yeah,
with stuff. Jamie, you're an incredible friend, and I just want to say that. And thank you for coming on and sharing tough things. But I do believe your testimony helped someone else. So, with that being said, if looking back, if you could say, these are the 2 or 3 things that you really need to walk through and get through it so that you can have a new norm, what would they be?
You know, there's a couple big ones. I know we've talked a little bit about just being there for someone. So, just being there, not necessarily having the right words. I think the biggest mistake people make for a lot of people when they're dealing with grief is trying to say they're in a better place. Phrases like, I heard you've got other kids you got to take care of. You got to pull yourself out of this. A week after my son, left this earth.
And they all meant well.
Yeah. Oh, it's the best intention thing. So that's why I think it's a great thing to talk about. It's because everybody says, what can I do? And one of the things we talked about, was we had this flood of people all around us and everybody loved us and it was amazing. But after the funeral, everybody else has to go back to work. Everybody else has to go back to doing what they're doing every day. And you're stuck. You're there and all you've got is the, small family around you and you're trying to figure out how to navigate that. So, I think I've told people, and I try to do this myself, a little while after people go through stuff, they still need a quick phone call, a text, maybe see if they want to meet for something. They're probably going to tell you no. They're probably going to tell you they're fine, they're good, that kind of stuff. But eventually they'll open up if they know somebody's there, no strings attached, just want to listen if you've got something to say. So I think people overthink everything and try to come up with some grand solution. And I think, the most human thing of just knowing that somebody's there is the biggest solution piece in the world.
So what you would love for people to understand when someone's going to go through it is not so much say, hey, you got to pull yourself up, take care of the other kids. Not so much, hey, he's in a better place or she's in a better place, but just saying, hey, I'm here. You want to grab a cup of coffee?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so because there are people listening, and I think we all go through it. I mean, the two worst places I hate to go, hospital and funeral homes, because I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Now I do. Right?
Yeah.
Now I'm here. Want to grab a cup of coffee? I'll listen.
Yeah. Yeah. Listening is such a tool in so many things we do. And I've learned through the grief process, listening, it can do everything. I mean, I had to learn it a lot with my own kids. They were becoming adults and that kind of stuff. But I've been told all my life I'm a typical man that's in sales that wants to fix everything. So once I got myself out of bed after a couple weeks and started trying to put one foot in front of the other and see how I was going to navigate, I wanted to fix all my kids. I wanted to make sure they were okay. Tell them, here's what you need to do. Don't think about this. Think about this. Focus on that. And I look back, and I've even had conversations with them now and apologize to them for trying to fix their grief, trying to tell them how they should handle it, what they should do, who they should talk to, where I needed to just go, same thing. I just needed to listen, ask them how they were doing. Because if they've got something on their mind, especially your kids or your close family, they're going to share it with you. They're going to share it with you if they feel safe. But if they feel like you're going to try to fix them and try to, tell them what they should do, I've got that little voice. I've got that incredible wife that was there with me that said, hey, you got to move forward. We got to think about the kids. They're getting ready to go to college. Willa, our youngest daughter, is getting ready to go into the next grade. Nick's got this going on. Jordan's got that going on. So I've got that support at home that's going to be that little nudge that's not going to let me. So I was lucky in that way. Somebody not in that situation might not have had that. So I had somebody there knowing that I couldn't stay down forever. So I had that encourager. So everybody else I needed to just listen to.
It's incredible advice. I think, again, all of us want to fix it for you, right? We don't like to see our friends hurt.
No.
But, man, just to listen and be present.
Yeah.
What great advice, Jamie. So, moving forward, you've started an incredible thing in memory of your son. Talk about why, again, we're going to go back a little bit and it'll be repetitive, but why a blood drive?
We really wanted to do something that made a difference. We talked about how adventurous Ryan was, and maybe we start some kind of foundation where we raise money for this or raise money for that. I also had this picture when I was going through my grief. Pictures is still one of the hardest things for me for some reason. I have that conversation with people who have loss all the time, and sometimes it brings people so much joy to see pictures of their kids or pictures of that loved one. It's been one of my biggest hurdles, and hopefully I'll figure out. I've got a couple pictures that I have of Ryan around that I look at all the time, but I really struggle with taking out an old box of photos and looking at all the years. It's really tough, but I was looking at some photos on Facebook and different things I had taken, and there was a picture of Ryan where he had given blood at school, and he was kind of, flexing his muscle after they wrapped the red tape around your arm, and he just had this incredible smile, and it was just Ryan. The picture was just Ryan at that age. I was like, dude, nothing he wouldn't do for somebody. I countless stories, which is incredible, of friends that have came to me, completely had no idea things that he had done for friends, for new kids out of school, just little things that came out that, because I talk great about Ryan, and he was also rough around the edges. Some of his best friends were just like, man, I love Ryan like I never loved anybody, and some days I hated that kid more than anything. Drove me insane. So, he did some things where, as a parent, I was like, man, he's going through the teenage years. But then I heard stories of little things that he had done here and there that were just really phenomenal. Brought me to tears. But I saw this picture, and that's when I started thinking. I was like, man, instead of raising money for something else, why don't we do something where we've got a physical thing we go do, which is what Ryan was about. He liked to go camping, be out. He liked to be in something. So it just clicked that a blood drive would make a lot more sense in honor of Ryan.
So you started this in what year?
I guess it was 2017.
2017. Yeah. Talk a little bit about that, leading up to it, getting it organized. Obviously, the Red Cross does an amazing job coming alongside you.
Yeah.
But this is kind of your baby, and you guys are driving it so that it is successful.
Yeah.
Talk about what you've all done for it.
Yeah, it's been great. When we first had the idea and we reached out to Red Cross, and then we started actually putting it together, we had tons of support, but they also do this every single day. So they were very realistic and were able to set expectations. And, they're like, hey, we'll do this for a year or two. We do this when things happen. I think it's a great plan. I think you'll have a pretty good turnout the first year or two. And then what we do is we transition you into, there'll be a local church, or there'll be another small organization that'll do something. You can partner with them in honor of Ryan, keep the memory going. And so, we were kind of looking at that on the horizon. First year we had the blood drive, we had 144 units collected.
Wow.
Which they told us, hey, a good blood drive first year with a cause like this, you get 40 or 50, that's going to be phenomenal. So they were kind of blown away, and they said, but that is amazing. You'll start to see it, trickle off. And so long story short, we have had 8 so far. They've been that big or bigger every year. We've remained a private drive, which they don't have a lot of those that are standalone. We do a Saturday, which is also very rare for Red Cross to bring staff in on a Saturday. So we've been able to keep those numbers really high. I met with Gene Baker, who's our representative from Red Cross. Me and my wife had lunch with him last week, and he just said, man, you guys are the top of the tier when it comes to private blood drives. Y'all are rock stars. Y'all are crushing it. And they're extremely thankful and supportive. But it's just, we didn't know what it would turn into. But, you talked about mortgages and real estate, and just the community as a whole. Started out that first year, I felt like we probably saw, out of 144 people that were able to donate, we probably saw 140 people we knew, which was really, really cool. But now we do it, and we see a lot of people we don't see all the time. We've got people that we've never met. We've got people that have started coming because they heard about the blood drive, and now they mark it on their calendars and come back the next year. Some really emotional stories that have come out of it, where people have, used it as a cause that have really meant something to them. And so just, it's been really, really cool. We do it here in Murfreesboro at the Fountains now, which is a, phenomenal event center. There's, it's air conditioning. So we started first couple of years, we did it in a basketball gym over the summer. And
that might not have been too smart.
It was a little tough. It was a little warm. Yeah, it didn't work too good, but he graduated from Laverne High School, so they were nice enough to let us use it. But we've got some great sponsors that have donated money here and there to get the event center, and it's just been phenomenal the way the community has responded and tried to keep it going so that we can make a huge difference.
So again, it's August 2nd. It's the same time every year. Yep. I'd imagine the first Saturday in August.
You got it.
good events always do it on the similar dates.
Yeah.
I've learned after 22 years. How do they get involved?
Yeah.
Right now, how do they get involved? Just besides showing up, it takes, you and I know it takes a whole lot more.
Oh yeah. So
than just that day.
Oh, big time. Big
so
time.
How can the community help?
Yeah. Thank you. So right now, Red Cross opens us up, and we have 136 slots available from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. On that day. So it's not the easiest to navigate websites always, but if you go to the Red Cross's website and search Give Life for Ryan, you can register right there. But we're very hands-on, like you said. So we have a list of everybody that's ever donated. We post on Facebook. There's a Facebook page that's Give Life for Ryan. We also put my phone number and email address out there, my wife's phone number all the time, and we just register people. We start filling those slots. It's only May. So, by the time we get here, we get close to the blood drive, we want to have all those slots filled. We do keep it open for people to just walk in if they want to. But as you know, with events, if you just say, hey, everybody show up, could be bad.
Yes. You need in this, because it is such a, you're laying there on the table giving blood. How long does it typically take someone to come in? What's the appointment time? How long does that take?
Yeah.
Help much prep work do they need to know before? Like, if I hate needles.
Yeah.
But I'm coming, so you're going to have to help register me.
You got it.
How long should we expect to be there?
So they do appointments every 15-minute increments, and you can expect from the time you get there till the time you walk out the door about 45 minutes, give or take a little bit. It's a very simple process. So one big thing that changed this year, speaking of needles, is some people hate needles so much that they do a finger poke to check your iron, that the finger poke was a bigger deal than the needle doing the blood work, and they don't do that anymore. So they've got some new technology this year. They put a little pulse ring on your finger that checks your pulse. It also checks your iron. So no more finger sticks. So literally only one needle this time for donating blood. It's about 45 minutes. One of the cool things we do, so we've had some sponsors and that kind of stuff too, we do a different color shirt every year. So everybody that shows up, whether you donate blood or not, gets a shirt that has the Give Life for Ryan logo on it. We have some food that we lay out, so donuts during the morning and pizza and Chick-fil-A in the afternoons. So we really try to make it a little bit of an event. You're not just walking into a cold room, sitting down, and then going in and doing, giving blood. And then we also do it at the fountains. So they've got the soda bar that's got cookies and ice cream and that stuff next door. You've got some restaurants around there. So it's a little bit more than just walk in, give blood, and walk out. Gives you a little bit. So it goes really fast, and it doesn't take very long at all.
So how can you build upon this? It sounds like you're kind of locked in. You're going to only get to do 144 to 150 units every year. Yeah. Can they expand it for you?
Yeah. So our goal is we were cruising along, and then COVID happened.
Correct.
And of course, people didn't like to get out as much. So we had 2 years through COVID where it was really shocking. We actually did pretty good numbers. They were kind of blown away that we had that many people show up with masks on. And, at the fountains, we probably got 10 tables or beds going at the same time. They only had about 4 or 5 because of distancing and stuff. But we made it through those couple years, and there's room to expand. So we could do another date if we absolutely could fill those spots early. We could look at doing it twice a year. So we'll see, but there's room for expansion.
Awesome. We're going to take our final break and be right back with Jamie Steelman.
Whether it's a cough, a fever, or something you can't quite name, MMC Now makes care easy. Walk right in, get seen quickly, and your visit connects directly to your MMC doctor. Care you trust, with providers you know, with digital check-in and multiple locations around town. MMC Now is here when you need us.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic.
What's the location of your emergency? I think my kid OD'd.
Hi, I'm Craig Harris, County Commissioner of Rutherford County. One of the reasons I ran for office is because I wanted to bring awareness to the opioid epidemic that's impacting our county. To stop providing this epidemic with people as we educate. We have a lot to do, and we have to come together as a community because this problem's not going away.
I've been helping people from Murfreesboro for over 30 years and spent a lot of time there over the years.
We love Murfreesboro. We have lots of friends down there. We've partnered with Middle Tennessee State.
And we found more and more people asking for our services, and at some point it just made sense to open up an office there for the convenience of the citizens of the community and the surrounding areas.
We wanted to actually physically be present there and not just going there a lot.
Forget those fluorescent lights and freezer burn. This ain't your average grocery run. Meet your farmer, talk a little livestock, and take home the juiciest veggies in your life. The Rutherford County Farmers Market, celebrating 50 seasons.
At Lane Agri Park in Murfreesboro.
Real food, real people, and real local.
At the Garden Patch Thrift Shop on Spring Street, we believe in more than just great deals. Every purchase you make helps Greenhouse Ministry serve over 70 families a day, offering hope and changing lives in our community. From name brand clothing to household items or even large appliances, you'll find everything you need at prices that will fit your budget. Plus, 100% of the proceeds go back to the ministry. Visit the Garden Patch Thrift Shop today across from the tall NHC building in downtown Murfreesboro, where shopping changes lives.
This is Chip Walters, and I'm honored to be your 2024 MTAR Realtor of the Year. I'm with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, and like many of you, I've seen the real estate market shift and change. People often ask, Chip, what's really going on? Well, that's a great question, and I believe in answering with solid, factual data. So let's cut through some of the noise. I invite you to reach out. Let's have a conversation about your real estate goals and the current market trends in your neighborhood. You can find all my contact information at choosechip.net.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Welcome back into WGNS and the Roundtable. I'm Andy Herzer, founder and executive director of First Shot. And just if anybody hasn't made your summer camp plans, you can go to firstshottn.org, click on the basketball link, sign your child up for summer basketball camp. They're June 7th to the 10th and the 14th to the 17th. And ages 5 to 8 in the first week and 8 and up in the second week. And we have a few spots left. Would love to have you. Again, welcome back in, Jamie.
Thank you.
So let's talk about how they get a hold of you to get registered. I think that's the most important thing right now. It's early in the ball game. I know you got a list.
Sure.
But if you're like mine, what I've learned is those lists ebbs and flows.
For sure.
Right? And so if anybody is out there listening and you want to help the Steelmans have a successful blood drive, tell them how to get a hold of you.
Sure. So really easy. My phone number that you can reach me on is 615-238-7426. You can also email me at Jamie, Jamie, at cmghomeloans.com. It's cmghomeloans.com. My wife, Stacy Steelman, also does a lot of the registrations and things for us. Her direct number is 615-417-7372. And like I said before, there's also a Facebook page that's just titled simply Give Life for Ryan. It's Give and Life are spelled out. There's a numeral 4 and then Ryan. And you can leave us messages there, email, phone, whatever it takes. We'll chase anybody down that wants to help for sure.
Well, again, I think people just don't realize how difficult this has been for you and your family.
Move? Epic. How are you planning to approach this surreal encounter?
Tell your story, I don't think it's ever going to get easier, but I do think you heal. And part of the process for everybody is telling it. And I think it's an incredible story, Ryan, and for you to tell Ryan's story.
Sure.
Because nobody knew how adventurous Ryan was but you and your wife and maybe 2 or 3 of his closest friends.
For sure.
Right? And with that adventure, I mean, here he is giving life, and you guys are. You just don't know who you're impacting. And so I want to say thank you when I heard this, it made me tear up. And our good friend Candy, you know, I never knew.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I think that's a lot of people. A lot of us don't know. We get wrapped up in our own world. So how do you stay present in this right now?
I think, you know, it's on me all the time. So what the blood drive has done for me, and hopefully some of my family has given us an outlet for some of that, you know, to have a cause to look forward to that helps people. A big thing with losing somebody, and I think this goes for, you know, a tragic loss like we had, or even, you know, somebody that's lived a long life and you miss them. Talking about that person, telling the stories keeps it relevant. I know when both my parents have passed away, and they both passed away way too young, but still talking about them keeps those memories, you know, alive, keeps the fun stories going. And with Ryan, you know, we also learned through doing that, and not everybody's the same, so I won't speak for everybody, but when we would go to, you know, family events, Christmas, Thanksgiving, you know, right after it happened, you know, I felt like, I felt like I was being ignored. Nobody wanted to talk to me, you know, and Stacy, my wife, would come, and like, nobody knows what to say, you know, like we were talking about before, and nobody wants to, you know, is a story that's fun, is that wrong to talk about while somebody's going through grief? You know, when you know, through a little bit of the therapy that I went through, you can't always glorify somebody you lost that they were perfect. You've also got to, you know, because Ryan wasn't perfect.
Well, you told me he had a wild side.
Yeah, he was adventurous. He was a teenager. He pushed back at dad and all kinds of stuff. So you got to remember all that stuff. And if you build up this incredible memory of everything and don't just talk about the fun stories. I mean, when our kids get together now, they tell some of the most hilarious stories, and now they're adults. So now we hear the stories that we didn't hear before.
Yeah, that we really didn't want to hear before either. Come on now, Jamie.
Yeah, we hear who snuck out of the house, who did what.
I mean, the same stuff we did. That's the amazing thing, right? We did those things.
Yeah.
And to expect our kids to not and be perfect through it. But again, I think it's amazing how tears, laughter, all heals.
Yeah.
So again, to you and your family, keep laughing, keep crying, right?
Thank you. Yeah, we absolutely will. I mean, I've learned through this process as well. I was also a person that kept a lot of stuff inside, and I still do.
Most men do.
Yeah. But now I've learned, and this is what I talk about people that have had loss, it's completely okay to not be okay. I have times where I might be going to work for a really big appointment, and I'm 30 minutes early, listening to the radio, and man, I might sit there for 10 minutes and cry my eyes out. And then I just not let it go, but I'm like, okay, I just needed to let that out. And I had to learn that through grief. I wasn't very good at, I feel like I wasn't very good at sharing with my wife, all kinds of stuff. Just, it's, you know, grief has healed my life in a lot of different ways. So I'm thankful for some people that taught me how to deal with that and how to move forward. Losing the kids, just something I hope nobody has to go through. I wish there was a way that no one had to go through it. But I've also learned over time that there are people everywhere going through it. There's somebody going through it right now. It's just the way there's that many human beings on earth. So somebody's losing a kid this week and gonna be dealing with that stuff too. So I try to just, you know, remember that I'm not sure I can figure out the best way to deal with it every day, but I know I'm not alone.
Well, I look at it, I think I learned something today, because I hate being in those situations where I'm trying, because I want to fix it. I want to fix the pain of somebody. That's our nature, to fix things. But just saying, hey, I'm here, I'll listen, and to be present for somebody else that's going through something horrific, I haven't done a very good job of, but now I'm going to be very cognizant of it. So again, give the website to go to.
Yeah, so it's just Facebook page. It's Give Life for Ryan, and it's simply the alphabetical GIVELIFE, the numeral 4, and RYAN. You can go there. There's all kinds of updates. We're actually in the middle of developing a website, so we've never had an official website, and somebody's working on that, so it'll be tied to the Facebook page eventually. But you can go to the Facebook page, or you can reach out to us directly anytime. We love to share Ryan's story. We love to share anything that we can do. So there's a lot of people that call us and say, hey, I can't donate blood because of some medical stuff or that kind of stuff. So in that case, we say, hey, see if somebody can come donate in your place, or come and just say hello that day, kind of hang out. It's a fellowship. So lots of things like that. And I mean, I've told people anytime that I get a chance to share his story, if somebody just needs somebody to talk to, needs somebody to pray with them, any kind of stuff like that, that's what we want to be. It's not just about donating blood. That's how we give back. But if there's something we can do to be there for somebody, we're here.
So give your numbers out again.
Absolutely. Mine's 615-238-7426, and Stacy's is 615-417-7372. And, the date is August 2nd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Those of you that donate blood, there's a little thing. You can only donate blood every 58 days. So I wanted to make sure I remembered to mention June 7th. So after June 7th, don't give blood unless you're registered to come to our blood drive, or you won't be eligible when the blood drives come. So we appreciate it.
Again, we thank you for coming on and sharing this incredible story of your son. And we, again, wish you the best of luck in the blood drive.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Subscribe to Big G TV, local content that matters to Rutherford County.